Hello, good people of Helena. This is Amber Johnson, Communications Specialist at Lewis and Clark Public Health, and I'm here with my girl Nina. Nina, say hello.
Hi there.
Who are you? What do you do?
I am the Licensed Establishment Program Supervisor here at Lewis and Clark Public Health, and I help coordinate the activities of our 3 health inspectors here in Lewis and Clark County. And they go out and inspect most of our public licensed establishments in the county, so that includes restaurants, grocery stores, and then public accommodations, pools and spas, and then trailer courts and campgrounds.
Thank you for that overview. So Nina and I have been on a bit of a field trip visiting some local establishments selling Kratom-based products in and around the Helena area. And so we thought we'd just tell you about what we found, what Kratom is, and what parents and consumers need to be mindful of about this. I won't call it a new product, but it's new-ish. To Montana and kind of creating a few problems. So, yes, Kratom. What is it?
Well, Kratom is a substance that's found, it's actually usually imported to the U.S., but it's a leaf. It's usually in the leaf form, but can be added to various products. And it acts like an opioid. So it's similar to an opioid in its function in the body, and it also, we find it in products that they've actually extracted the opioid-like substance called 7-OH from the leaves, and put it in a more concentrated form in some of these products.
Yeah, so Kratom, people have been eating and drinking and smoking this leaf for eons in Southeast Asia, and it wasn't until probably the early 2000s that it started to make waves here in the United States. As Nina mentioned, 7-OH is this alkaloid, and an alkaloid is a powerful plant compound most commonly found in flowering plants. And we consume lots of alkaloids on a regular basis, and some of them, like caffeine, are legal. They come in the form of tea or coffee. And then, some of our alkaloids are going to be, legal but regulated, and these would be kind of like THC, in like marijuana. And then some alkaloids are illegal, like cocaine. So 7-OH, which is one of the alkaloids found in the Kratom plant, as Nina said, has been extracted, concentrated, and in the body it acts like an opioid. It's a partial opioid agonist, and it's going to affect the same parts of the brain that other, like, more official opioids do, like fentanyl and morphine, etc., etc. So oftentimes people stumble into a 7-OH Kratom addiction because they don't realize that 7-OH Kratom products are opioid-like in nature. And so this is something to be super mindful, especially if you're a parent. We were just making some rounds at some various gas stations, and some gas stations require you to be 21 in order to purchase Kratom products, but others, it's kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kratom has just recently got on the radar for FDA in terms of regulations, and so the regulatory network around Kratom is still being developed in terms of how Kratom is being dealt with. It's not recognized by the FDA as a food additive or a dietary supplement, so they are looking at and have started action against some of these companies that are marketing these products as such.
So just something to be mindful of. Oftentimes people stumble into addiction on accident, and Kratom is showing up in overdose reports, and heavy users are starting to go to rehab. So it's not nothing. And I think partly because it's kind of new and mysterious, and because the FDA has not fully regulated it, it's kind of falling through the regulatory cracks and just kind of adding to an age-old problem, which is addiction, injury, and overdose. So buyer beware, parents beware.
And I think especially for parents, being aware that these products are marketed in a lot of different forms. There's marketed as drinks that look very similar to energy drinks, but they contain kratom. So really paying attention to those labels and to what's in the things that are being consumed by your kids or your friends.
And if you have any more questions about kratom, or you have a story that you want to share, feel free to reach out to us at the health department. Nina, do you remember our phone number?
Yes, it's 457-8900.
Again, that number is 406
457-8900.
All right. That's all today from Amber and Nina. Stay safe out there.